6. The event will start in 30 seconds. Thank you very much. Thank you. I see so many beautiful and lovely faces this beautiful morning. I think one of the biggest difficulty of the job today is the fact that I will not be able to connect to the expression of your faces. Everyone kind of appears bland, so I don't know where you're angry, I don't know where you're laughing, I don't know where you're smiling, but I'm going to tell myself that you all are smiling. I'm going to tell myself that everybody is happy each step of the way because of the man that we're celebrating today. In every way, this man is a good man. He is a good man. Ladies and gentlemen, you're very welcome once again to the following event for the celebration of retirement and book presentation in honor of Professor Michael Asuzu, put together by the Department of Community Medicine, its mentees and supervisees. Thank you very much all for making our time to be here to celebrate Professor of Public Health and Community Medicine, Consultant Community and Occupational Physician in the Department of Community Medicine. Thank you very much for being here. A mentor, a life coach, a father, and a grandfather. Thank you very much. Affirmation, they say, is not so much of what you say to or wish for people or yourself as what you do or are to them. This is a very popular quote from Michael Asuzu himself. If you have received emails from him, you're most likely familiar with that. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to invite some people to the high table this morning. The first person that we'll be inviting to this high table this beautiful morning, ladies and gentlemen, is the Provost of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, the 15th Provost of the College of Medicine. Please make welcome to this high table Professor Olayinka Omigodun. Thank you, Prof. Thank you for making our time in spite of your busy schedule to be here. Thank you very much, Prof. We also want to especially welcome the chairman of today's occasion. Of course, he's already seated here, but we're still going to give him his deserved welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Kale Oladele Olusiji was the first Dean of the Faculty of Public Health, College of Medicine, Professor of Epidemiology, Mental Statistics, and Environmental Health. Please put your hands together for our own Professor of Professors, Teacher of Teachers, Professor Kale himself.
And we need to protect it.
We also want to welcome our guest lecturer for today's event. Our guest lecturer for today's event is a professor of community medicine and public health. He was the former provost of the College of Health Sciences, Obafemi Awolowo University, and he is the current vice chancellor of the University of Medical Sciences, Ondo. Please make welcome to this high table, Professor Olusegun Fatusi. Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you here.
Can you give us a slide?
Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much. We also want to welcome to this very briefly the head of the Community Medicine, College of Medicine, Dr. And ladies and gentlemen, the primary reason why we're gathered here today is to celebrate the man himself, the man Michael Asuzu. The man has accomplished so many things. Mentored people, coached people in different areas of life, from medicine, law, he has coached a lot of people in the area of relationships, marriage. Amazing man, very good friend to many people. The first time I met Asuzu was at a conference, and at the conference there was a cocktail. So they told everyone to move around and just meet somebody new. He walks up to me and says, "Young man, my name is Michael." So I said, "Your name is Michael?" He says, "Yes." I said, "No, what is your name?" He says, "My name is Michael." Your name cannot be Michael. This is Nigeria. You cannot tell me your name is Michael. He says, "Well, my name is Michael Asuzu." I said, "Oh, you're Professor Asuzu." He says, "No, my name is Michael Asuzu." Ladies and gentlemen, this is how humble this man is. Very simple man. He's still a very simple man until tomorrow. I don't know any time when he's going to be a proud man. It just looks like and of course, you know, they say behind every successful man, very, very supportive woman. That is very beautiful wife beside him. So he's not going to walk alone to the stage, he's going to walk with his beautiful wife. So Rob, you're going to go back, Professor Asuzu, you will go back and take your place. And you will go that way. So put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, for the man of the moment and his beautiful wife. I love that. Thank you, Provost. The standing ovation, if you will. The standing ovation, if you will. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Michael Asuzu. Thank you very much, Rob. And his beautiful wife, Professor Asuzu. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep putting those hands together for them until they have just seats. Thank you, thank you. We also want to welcome very quickly to this high table the person who's going to be in charge of the book expose. The man called Michael, whose father's name is Asuzu. That's the name of the book. This man is going to explain why the book is titled as such. He's going to handle the expose. Please welcome to this high table Professor Omiwa Soil. Yes, Professor Soil is the director of the Research Management Office. Also, I was also the former provost. Thank you very much for making us today. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to go straight into the program. We have a welcome address that is going to be handled by the head of the department, community medicine. So please, if you will, put your hands together as I welcome Dr. Funmilola. So please give us a welcome address. Please, before she takes over, we would kindly like to request that if you're joining us online, about 3 or 4 people joining us online can indicate their presence online just by showing their hands on Zoom. If you're joining us online, just indicate by showing. Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. Let's talk.
Chancellor, University of Ibadan, the Provost, College of Medicine, the Chief Medical Director, University College Hospital, Deans and Directors of Centers and Institutes, Heads of Department, Professors and colleagues from near and far, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all, whether you are here in this physical space or you're joining us virtually. Whether you're in the wherever you are in the world, I welcome you on behalf of the Department of Community Medicine, College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, and University College Hospital. I welcome you to the celebration of retirement and book presentation in honor of Professor MC Asuzu. It is both an honor and a delight to welcome you all to this epoch-making occasion. We have come to celebrate and to celebrate. We have come to celebrate one of our own, MC Asuzu, who is retiring from rigorous active service. Know how I qualify his retirement. Need I say more? Professor Asuzu is a teacher of teachers, a mentor of mentors, a researcher par excellence, a man of the people, a man who loves God, family, and his chosen profession.
the primary authority. I don't think that the conversation was about the responsible procedures. What was my thing? That my work was not the body traditionally known as working very commitment. But I found the same idea of having seconds. I simply asked my friend that those who are was not promoted are free to work their promotion, but I will not work for the of sharing my percent. The rest is true. I also remember the negative reaction to God. And I just decided to put a certain master for the programming. I want to have access towards the front of the process of Jesus. But also, as the students lamented, the poor understanding of the process even by the faith community in this world. Nigerians do not know what community is or is fact. I think the whole Nigeria, which area in Islam community, as well as those who are simply calling their rational or not their rational, I think know what the Christ is community is. As the Irish one of Lagos Society like this, scientific and proper community here is not as here. Scientific and community here are only the practice in Lagos Society. And look at the government. When you hear, only as very well community necessary. As a society have about community, as well as community, as a state in any country, we can get it public. That's what I mean. It's a start community. But it's just for community. I want to master and the if students are here, I know I'm supposed to be that class. How do we get expected to know what to do? I think it's two parts of community never do this is again. I just the brother of community practice was now go beyond it. It's high time to practice and set up community and that continue to do anything of the parent. Such was the practical respond to the regularity of our appropriately acknowledge our diverse community and social environment of professionalism, social respect, and popularity. The model of the fundamental things of business, which are covered from the population of community force, the clear definition of such, which is the youngest in the privatization of revenue, the defined programs that respond to the wealth of mind and attract the values of what we majority in the community. But at the comprehensive area, we work in integration or foundation of preventive, promoting, creating, and realizing tasks. Therefore, we believe and do in what community is but not the first thing of the regular system and related scientific approaches. Number 6, there will be a strong social adaptation mechanism. The development of such a model is a task for academic and cultural practice in the 21st century. Practice is task that was a play at the start. What was it that I believe is that close is the motive, the right for intelligence is the act as well, I believe, in 1940s and was not sure to apply welfare at the ground floor of public activities in the university. And now, responding to several courses across all the parts of the world. The concept is very basic for powerful philosophy of integrating public health and community under providing back a general approach. In practice, it involves local and necessary as a top of natural disasters with a commitment to reach all members of the community, irrespective of their state. And not just a place to care for everyone, but to reach communities which unites them. As such, and great Abraham's regarding the underlying justice, but if you have not only those who are not they are required to participate in social media. There is a need for recognition of the potential of risks and dangers which comes to move, prevent, and make communities accompanying community. Here those with illness and worry and they are created to make but we need to as someone of prayer. Bring it together. Different family members. It's like a handle of what it is. This was for instance, from Church it's not comparing one or community related family. We understand what we are sharing. Might be anything from the which have really makes the addition of witness in Bibles. I'm quite sure that the mention of the word one to do some keep up from the information action rather than or whatever. The 19 was as told us in the church that was made in Moses. Therefore, 85 minutes, a modified a correct approach with elected promotes and a global approach over an analysis of edges and assets evidence and direction from the passage of evidence based on the around it. This book is the public system that is the public mapping the perfect system of the entity based on the this is the very of the right. The other thing is that understand the law, we need to understand the information with the bonus in present by the way, there is 2018 declaration of the Indian Association of University Analysts on the definition of continuity and proper the community specialist. COPC was specifically recognized. According to the Indian Association, continuity is decided and part of promoting the records and molecular by a method of evaluation, preventive, the close partnership or association of medical services and the practice of participation and assessment of location. Community are not today. Focus on external global health, community oriented practice and organization of medical services to obtain and optimal. The community program established was subject to the evaluation of services and was agreed by the concept of the high practice of community primarily, which was appropriate according to business. The otherwise underlying philosophy is that community is distinguished from other forms of personal engagement in that addresses the community as a whole and recruits of each communities. The primary goal encompasses four things. What is the process? What is the state of the community? And what is the factor responsibility? What is it about the state of the community by the next year and by the next year? And what all and what is the hope of what such what makes I expect to continue as a evaluation how we expect the system and the activities are all we should change to the system. This community-based practice involves respect of community-wide conduct, increased surveillance of the relationships of the community, subject to community health, intervention and evaluation, and surveillance and control of communities that cut across three problems of life: childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. As part of the process of the group of each community composed, different programs were also integrated in evaluation or implemented application, including intervention of practices and challenges. The community community maintenance which not only reveal different practices of this center, but it also develops people together with the other example, the talent of Nigeria today to get to this truly rooted in that country. And it's not something to encourage endorse the idea of socialism and present the paper of socialism in 1996 conference. But there are some of them starting like good. But sincerely, sometimes, even myself, I don't believe in nobody because of the number of us. But I believe that is not only area as far as the basis. The framework of implementing rewards is focused. All our schools, the organizations are thinking about health and care practice. And the fact that our health particularly the family care practitioner, and the master they don't come to Lagos or other. I am now to speak based on the concept of individual family care. The health process is supported towards institutionalizing the community approach and not operated as one of those model units. Seriously, to our mind, covers a good approach to meet community responsibility. Beyond the opportunity for home services and the scope and not relying on style, it also includes the quality and impact of our research. For my Masters of Public Institutions in Israel, which focus on advanced level, was able to analyze the federal data from ECG that was presented to start population 20 years before I entered. And I was able to examine the assumption for most of modernity after that. What they need is, and that's the kind of data I do not then have, and I'm not going to here, because there's no so, the extraordinary benefit is social approach. Now, what is social? The depth of longitudinal data like from the depth of evidence, which is practice, but it's full of evidence and continuous. Social is very social for human. Hundreds of top-quality sacrifices can be published in time. This is each of my partners of committees or committee to work. That's how much we realize. Each of us take up challenge or make up the continuous practice in this community. That should be the starting point of institutionalizing community practice. What I believe that COPC supporters a great way. This is not and this is not about modern services but act not. The best of our portfolio have is just of generalizing and the taking the layer of the general campaign. As the Chinese program teaches, the best time to plan the teaching is 20 years. Now, 70 years ago, when the answers were started. When the best time is today, let us embrace challenge and operate. For us, at the University of Science, our primary school of public health is established alone, counting the third of which is the center of policies and offers us an opportunity to also experience. I'm excited, very excited about our potential, and I believe that our responsibility, along with our high quality and particularly our quality team, to shut the way forward and success. This is my challenge to be a business for public health.
Someone is coming. Sure, that's fine. She understands.
To be a and to the mission to revolutionary and innovative leaders for evidence to be necessary. So as one of the everybody yesterday, as part of the next 60 years, we not just national high but also several enterprises focus on holistic technique, cyber science and electronics, center for global data security, center for science and partner with global affairs child center for comparative data connectivity, and center for community education. As the academic conference, one of the biggest participated is no room to watch. The choice at the end of the day is to also secure as well as confidence or not one foundation together. For me, and our school, they are very much the change. That's our idea. We want to work around of that excellence is like a must. Our choice is to give one back to where and upgrade the play about the place of start. Among others, we are set to go, but we want to give the decision of medical education investment, which is the next response. And we are starting to consider that by establishing the first authority of medical education that they did that three programs in Mali, the therapy, and the assistance. We are also just establishing the office of health management in Nigeria. And recently submitted a proposal in National University Solutions to have 10 courses in the academic universities. This is that's and I think that in pursuing that, we also be pursuing the change of making Nigerian system forward. In just this agenda, I want to congratulate President Asuzu on his wonderful work. As well as that, an entire family was granted landmark during the Nigerian University of Nigeria, and they were not dealing with justice yet. As well as to bring them thankful for financial success in this final data and included and standards of time. I also want to thank you for its numerous contributions to this direction, director and director. Including several years of mentoring the work of Asian officers who now have to be vice president of the academy. But I wish you many wonderful years, the greater service to the world, humanity, and the education in Nigeria. Certainly, although formally proud of that, I know you are not that. The teachers of God continue to find their way in this aspect. As congratulations, our dear President, Mr. Chairman, distinguished financially by the way. Thank you very much. Thank you. Awesome, amazing lecture. Thank you. Thank you for this consultation. Thank you very much. Amazing. It's such a great speaker. You're one of the people that would at least 6 to 4 hours. You don't have to carry on objects and all. We just listen in time. It's obvious that you learned very much from Asuzu. Thank you very much for what you amazing. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We apologize very profusely for the great politics of very sorry for working seriously on that. And those of our audience online, we know that this association is not constructive. We apologize for using it. We'll go, ladies and gentlemen, straight to the book expose. The book expose that we have both.
Thank you. It's part of us working on the sound. We're going to go straight to the book expose. The expose will be handled by our Professor Udu Sawyer. Professor Udu Sawyer is the Director of Research Management Office, National College of Medicine, and also the Director of Medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Udu Sawyer to the book expose.
I'd like to thank myself for the recognize the safety, the provost, the vice chancellor, the head of the department, and several friends around the group and online as well. It's a great privilege for me to start to review the book. I consider my But since then, he has been a wonderful senior counselor, colleague to me. When I was being interviewed to become professor, I was one of the four professors I came from that center and said they were nothing to me about. And I also came to one year sabbatical in Ibadan. In the Department of University and International Department made it possible. So I'm very happy and I also want to thank God that it's a good day to be here. I congratulate him and his dear wife. And everybody was about to writing the book.
I get the privilege as a part of the group. And I put there, the book has about 49 pages. From the last I was right. And the publisher of the French Analysis of Asuzu. The man called Michael, whose father's name is Asuzu. It is a book which I might write the picture. It's a book that describes love as being filled with inspiration, quotes, and words of wisdom that describes many concepts of the life and life of Michael Asuzu. Does the book live up with feeling and words? The answer is definitely yes, because I read the book from cover to cover. This is an insight into the life of MCA's family and friends, get a better understanding, with visions, and to celebrate the days and birthdays. It is not a book in public or in branding, but it's too little to such a man and a vision as Professor Michael. It has 8 chapters with a conclusion. Although the 8th chapter is more quotes and well wishes. Most chapters have more than one contributor, and I will summarize what each has said about Michael, the son of Asuzu. Chapter 1 is written by Professor Okala German today, and it starts as a title chapter, Mike, a value-added investment. It describes his energy, and that energy was turned to many constructive engagements in the department, and the setting up the Association of Community Physicians of Nigeria Association, SPPN, everything, and concludes that indeed, Professor Asuzu is a value-added and worthwhile investment in this many aspects. Chapter 2 has 3 contributors, all former students who are professors of public health, Professors OYG, Philly, and Ashubadi, who document his academic prowess and expertise in clinical epidemiology, occupational health, and public health history, to mention but a few. His academic exploits, depth of knowledge, and ability to produce several generations of mentees are highlighted. MC was one of the early trainees from UCH and has been a professor for 25 years. He has over 200 publications and attended close to 200 conferences and published in over Christian books. Chapter 3 talks about family life, targeted by his wife, Asuzu, his love life, his devotion to God, devotion to his children, and one remarkable aspect of chapter 3 is the appreciation given by his wife to the many people who have played a role in shaping his life. That's another one. Chapter 4 is like a paradox. I read that Professor Koji was there today and Dr. David. His many roles are documented as an activist, a critic, and wait for it, a pagan. Note, not an atheist. They are not the same. His ability to be frank, yet demonstrate astute intellectualism, dexterity, vast knowledge, are well illustrated. Chapter 5 is titled Blunt but Misunderstood. And that's Professors Shibogun and Anatoly as contributors. FC is described as cool, courageous, and visionary leader, but with hard stance on issues that require pragmatism. Chapter 6 is the longest and medical lecture. As to contributors, Professor Zwaka from Jos and Dr. Eliasu. Professor Zwaka traced relationship with Professor Asuzu and his contributions to the development of the number of professional associations and leadership therein. Dr. Eliasu gives a long account of the usual lecture of MC, our public health, community medicine, its many branches and actually practice. Chapter 7 talks about mentoring and rebirth with Dr. Shao and Professor Dusan contributing. Dr. described it as a mentor for excellence. Professor Dusan is running with the flame. The summary is that Professor Mike Asuzu is very brilliant, with deep insight, and with unusual ability to identify, develop young talent, and mold them to become stars. He is a man of great passion, and indeed a blessing to us all. Chapter 8 is devoted to quotable quotes, as well as best wishes from a number of mentees. Some of the quotes you have never stopped me. I'm sure you remember that. I'm a vegan. Those quotes are break down to minutes, and I've come to identify with Professor Asuzu. The conclusion is written by his powerful protege, Dr. Kadibi, and summarizes the person, Benobene, quote intellectual depth of our celebrant. Professor Mike Asuzu again explains some of his thoughts in this concluding section, explaining public health, community medicine, relationship with family medicine, nursing, and the central role in promoting their people. This book captures the very essence of the goodness in man and of previously women, and the beauty that's evident in Michael, the son of Asuzu. We celebrate Professor Michael Asuzu today and always. We are very proud of him. As we say, we are Lasso and we are proud. We say we are Lasso, we are very proud. We are very proud of Professor Michael Asuzu. We know that the future ahead of him is bright. Pray for good health. It's a book that describes us. Even if I've never met him, this book will tell you a large portion of his person, style, of his understanding of his motivations, and the many contributions for which he has done. My twin brother, Sheikh Fatusi, has just spoken of his relationship with him. I stand to also describe that he is indeed a blessing to us. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Prof. Please put your hands together for him once again. Thank you very much. Before we go ahead to the book launch, which will be launched by APHPN of your state in the person of Dr. Motajo, he's going to represent National. We're going to invite specially our own CMD, the Chief Medical Director of the University College Hospital, to give a quick goodwill message before we go to the book launch. Prof, please put your hands together for Prof.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I had to come in precociously to give my goodwill message. I have another program about 1 p.m. If I have to follow the protocols, I think I will eat into the time. It's already been fast spent. But I must recognize a few people. I want to recognize the chairman, Professor Kale, my teacher, while we're still in 200, 300 level. I salute you, sir. I couldn't recognize you. I had to ask the provost, and he said, you are the one. We used to gossip about you when we were in school because, mainly because of your diction. When you were teaching us about some helminths, we used to call the worm Trichinella spiralis. And Prof would come and would say Trichinella spiralis. And we all started pronouncing it the way he used to pronounce it. I must also recognize the celebrant of today and his wife, Professor and Dr. Mrs. Asuzu, also my teacher. And of course, at CMD UCH, we have a board, and anywhere we have our board members, we have to specially recognize them. I want to recognize Professor Sunday Titus Ibekwe, the Director of Administration, Mr. Oladejo. I can also see the Chairman Medical Advisory Committee, Dr. Akimoladu. I want to greet everybody else. I want to just say a few things about Professor Asuzu. The lecturer of today, Professor Fatusi, has described him as an apostle, and that's what I have in mind. Not just an apostle, but a passionate apostle of community medicine. When I became CMD, he dug out some documents he has sent to previous chief medical directors about the practice of community medicine. He's so passionate about it. He believes in it, and he believes we are not doing the right thing. So he told me he will come and see me in the office. Of course, I volunteered to see him, but he came. And he said he would not spend more than 5 minutes, but we ended up spending about 1.5 hours. And he took me through all this thing. And already they have helped us to develop community medicine in Yemetu Ala Adorin. He has all the details, the history, the geography, the epidemiology of the place on the palm of his hands. So for now, he's trying to help us to develop our Shepateri Comprehensive Health Center same way. Well, it's unfortunate that he's leaving, but I know if you are not returning to somewhere in Nineveh, we will still be calling on you to assist us. We want to thank you most sincerely for your services over the years to the University College Hospital, and we pray that the good Lord himself will reward all your efforts. You will leave your retirement in good health, sound body, sound mind. In the mighty name of Jesus, I say thank you very much on behalf of the Board of Management of the University College Hospital. I will say God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll go quickly to the book launch, and I'd like to invite APHPN National, represented by Dr. Motajo, to quickly launch the book. Dr. Motajo.
The chairman, Professor Oladele Kale, the vice chancellor, ably represented by my own sister, Professor Olayinka Omigbodu, the CMD that I just spoken, Professor Tegbayo. Permit me to stand on other existing protocols as previously observed. As a matter of fact, when you are given an assignment in the midst of professors, it is tempting, it is quite natural to be intimidated. It's either your heart is fainting somewhere or your leg is shaking. And I must tell you, I exhibited these tendencies as I walked down to this particular stage. But I was encouraged, quite fortunately, by one realization that regardless of the professors, all the associate profs here, the substantive profs that are here, as long as they belong to the Faculty of Public Health, and more importantly, Department of Community Medicine here in Ibadan, they are all my sons and daughters as of today. And as a result, that courage came to come down here and say one or two things. And on that, let me just quickly go through my written remarks. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to stand in this place today to honor a quintessential scholar in person of Professor Mike Asuzu, a man who has devoted his entire professional life to the service of community medicine, both nationally and internationally. While we were thinking of how best to appreciate this man, to appreciate our man of the moment, whom I affectionately refer to as Baba Prof, for his pioneering leadership role in the state chapter of the association, we went in search of suggestions and were finally advised to contact one of his close and reliable aides, who was said to be more familiar with his realities and preferences. We promptly did that, and the answer we got was both instructive and inspiring. Here the aide. Prof doesn't value any material thing. Buying him any gifts is a waste of resources. Thereafter, what then do? We were pleasantly informed of this book launch and how the priesthood will be used to deepen the economy of human knowledge and further empower both public health and community medicine practice in Nigeria through endowment of a fellowship prize at the National Postgraduate Medical College. Of course, we needed no persuasion to come on board. To all who gave birth to this thought and contributed in one way or another to the making of this book, our heartfelt congratulations. As an association, the least we can do is to provide our fullest support to see to the delivery of the primary objective of this book launch in all ways we can. Therefore, on behalf of all members of the Association of Public Health Physicians of Nigeria, or your state chapter in particular, I am launching 2 copies of this book with a token of 100,000 naira. In doing this, however, I do hope the association will not be seen in the context of a chief launcher, setting the space for others to follow. Consequently, I would like to call upon all individuals and groups here present to go beyond congratulatory messages as I have seen in the program bulletin and donate generously towards this new face of the man called Asuzu, whose father, you have the man called Michael, whose father is Asuzu. He has set himself out on another phase of selfless service through what we have identified herein as his purpose, particularly for this book presentation. I want to thank all of you for being here today to honor him. Thank you and God bless. Yeah. Yeah, we're launching the 2 books. Yeah, we're launching the 2 books today.
So we'll kindly request that Prof holds up the book, and everyone on the high table, I'm sure you all have a copy of the book too. Please, we'll kindly request that you hold up the book too while they take a few pictures. Just hold up the book just like he's holding up the book. Yes, just like. Thank you. And the photographers can take pictures of them holding the book up. Thank you. Would like everyone who takes a copy of the book in the audience to also donate generously to this cause. It's one of the endowment funds for Professor Asuzu, a lot of his many projects. A minimum of 2,000 naira, obviously. But of course, if you give us 2 million naira, we'll collect it. If you give us $2,000, we'll take it. We won't reject it. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We want to especially quickly recognize in this room, Professor Shade Omokodian. Professor Omokodian, please. Thank you very much, ma'am, for taking our time to be here. Oh, they're online. They're all online. Okay. Professor Omokodian. Flavia Segumbuge, she's also online. Thank you very much for joining us. Professor Esau is also online. Professor Shigogun is also online. Professor Bakari, thank you very much, sir. Professor Iliasu, thank you very much. We hear you're online powerfully. Dr. Tolufa Keye, thank you very much, of the SPHPN. Professor Akonde, thank you very much. Dr. Babalola Fasheru, thank you very much. Chukuma Asuzu, thank you very much. That's Prof's son. Professor Lausa, thank you very much. Dr. Uche Okoje, as Prof's daughter, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like we said, we'd encourage everyone to have a copy of the book with a minimum donation of 2,000 naira. But of course, if you donate more, we'll accept it. Thank you, sir. Before we head on to the goodwill messages, we'd also like to specially recognize Professor Adeolu from Neurosurgery. Professor Adeolu, I hear is in the room here. Thank you very much, Professor Adeolu. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Professor Olukemi Amodu, the Director of Institute of Child Health. I hear she's also in the room here. Thank you very much. Professor G.R.E.E. Anna, the Dean of Public Health. Where are you, sir? Just give a wave. Thank you, Prof. And Dr. Vio Akimoladun, the CMAC of UCH. Also, Professor Ajunwa is in the room. Professor Ajunwa, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We'll go straight to our goodwill messages. Thank you very much, Professor Ibekwe. Professor Ibekwe is a member of the board of UCH. is launching 2 copies of the book with 100,000 naira. Please put your hands together for Professor Ibekwe. Thank you. And I know that some of you can do better than that. I just hope this has challenged you to dip down into your pockets, you know, 1 million naira and we will collect it. 10 million, we will take it. $10,000, we'll take it. We won't reject it. Goodwill messages, ladies and gentlemen, quickly. I'd like to invite the provost of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, the 15th provost, Professor Omigodun herself. Please put your hands together for Professor Omigodun.
Thank you very much. I'm actually the 12th provost. No, I'm 12, number 12. The chairman of this very, very wonderful celebration, our teacher, Professor Kale, and the deputy provost of the College of Medicine, the secretary to the college. I stand on existing protocol. I'm told I have 2 minutes. I wasn't told this earlier on. I was told that I was to speak. So I have titled, sorry, can you hear me? There's an echo. Okay. I titled this address, "You still have much more to offer us. Please don't say goodbye." Where is your host? Where is, oh, Prof is coming, okay. You still have much more to offer us. Please don't say goodbye. I cannot remember when I first met Professor Michael Asuzu because he always seemed to have been present in the University College Hospital community from as far back as I can remember. I also cannot remember when I first met his beautiful wife, Professor Chioma Asuzu. But just like him, I seem to have known her for years and years on this campus. They are a truly special couple. By the time I crossed over to clinical school in UCH, Professor MC Asuzu was a senior registrar in community medicine. And in 1987, when he took up an appointment as a lecturer 1 in the college, I started my residency training in psychiatry. I believe that one of the reasons that I found I had constant contact with Professor Asuzu was because he was a very close friend to one of my wonderful senior colleagues in the Department of Psychiatry, Professor Jude Uzoma Ohiari, a distinguished professor of psychiatry. And just like Professor Asuzu, he was also a man who loves to mentor, a man who wanted people around him to succeed and excel, and who did everything in his power to ensure this. Secondly, Professor Asuzu is a strong believer in the field of mental health. And over the years, he has done everything in his power to ensure that mental health takes its rightful place in the realm of health. I am therefore not surprised that one of their beautiful daughters, Dr. Uche Aneni, is a child and adolescent psychiatrist at Yale University, and I believe she's online watching. In the last 3 months, I've had 2 very important, impactful encounters with Professor Asuzu, and truly each of them made major impressions on me. He also told me during those encounters about his impending retirement. I was more than convinced to loud and clearly, with a strong plea, say, Professor MC Asuzu, you still have much more to offer us. Please don't say goodbye. The first encounter was during the period of my campaign for the position of the provost, when I had an instructive 3-hour lesson on 3 key issues. The first was on the Nigerian Civil War. and the possible place where the remains of my late father, Lieutenant Colonel Victor Banjo, who was caught up in this unfortunate period of the history of Nigeria, were laid. Professor MC, in his usual way, was trying to reassure me and to encourage me. And then I was also blessed to learn about the life and times of Professor Asuzu. I learned that he was born September 29th on the feast day of Michael, the Archangel. And he had seriously considered becoming a Catholic priest at some point in his life. Reading up a little on the role of Michael, the Archangel, I can see Professor Asuzu walking in Michael's footsteps. Michael is said to be the leader of all the angels in the army of God and had several important responsibilities, including being a champion of Christians and the church. And I can see Professor Asuzu walking just like the Archangel Michael. Professor Asuzu also told me how he met his beautiful wife. He said he was a resident doctor here in UCH, and she was a student in the School of Nursing, both in the Catholic Christian charismatic movement. He said his wife was from another part of Igbo land, and she was a firstborn daughter. Prof, I hope I can release all these secrets. She was the firstborn daughter of her parents. According to him, in Igbo land, firstborn daughters do not marry outside their villages. So he had a huge mountain to surmount. But by the grace of God, they were able to surmount this hurdle. And they are still going strong in love and faith together after all these years. I think they've been married now since 1982. I think we should give them a round of applause. Finally, he told me about the history of community medicine in Nigeria, ups, downs, his dreams and hopes, many of which are yet to be fulfilled. I saw a man passionate about public health, fighting hard for justice so that every Nigerian would have access to decent health care. As he spoke that day, I thought to myself, Professor MC Asuzu, you still have much more to offer us. Please don't say goodbye. On Friday, 25th of September, I had another encounter with Professor Asuzu. I had asked for an urgent meeting with him after I received a bye-bye message from him by WhatsApp on the 10th of September. This was, I'm going to quote Professor Asuzu message. He said, the joy was mine to taste of your together approach to the running of our most dear college before I bow out. Please grow it and run with it to the end, even if anybody thinks it is a foolish way to go, or that autocracy or arrogance, all show off of power was better. Even after I leave, you can trust that my 49 plus years in the UCH institutions will never be taken lightly by me. And I will follow all of you who gets to lead any of these places, bumper to bumper, even if unobtrusively. He went on to express his concern about the importance of the quarterly board meetings in Ibarakpa and went on to advise me. He said, so it will be good, as soon as you settle down to this job, to invite the current director and discuss the future of that program. However, please, this is only an advice, or I apologize upfront if it appears too patient for you. For you are the one in charge. Once again, I thank you for myself being considered worthy of tasting of this new administration as we just did. And God bless you abundantly. Cordially and respectfully, MC Asuzu. Humble, down to earth. I had to call a meeting to meet with him. I had to. In this meeting, I met with Prof, the director of the Ibarakpa project and the deputy provost. And my eyes were opened even more. to the glorious gold mine projects we have in Igbora. It was simply awesome. Professor MC Asuzu likened this potential to the Songhai project in Benin Republic, put there by Father Godfrey Unzamdu, who is a personal friend of his, also a Dominican priest. And Professor Asuzu felt that Igbora can be transformed into a Songhai gold mine, just like was done in Republic of Benin. The Songhai project is a true indication of the potential of Igbora and also the potential in Africa. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we need Professor MC Azuzu's wisdom, vision, passion. It is needed now to translate that Igboala dream into reality. We need funds to fence up the more than 43 hectares of land to prevent intruders who have been encroaching on the land. We need to meet the Oyo State government in order to implement the existing MOU. We need to build up that place so that students and faculty can come all over the world and visit it for research, learning, and tourism. Prof had already started a project where he had engaged several departments from the University of Ibadan. That vision must not die. Prof has to stay with us to build it up. He has the passion, he has the vision, and we must turn it and transform it to a mission. Therefore, this is a call to Professor MC Asuzu as he starts a new season of life. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You still have much more to offer us. Please don't say goodbye. It is also a call to us here and abroad to rise up, to support and build up the Ibarakwa project. It is a call for us to be like Professor MC Asuzu and be institution builders. Not about self, but about the institution, about the nation, about Africa, about human beings, about life, about community health. It is a call to all of us. I thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. At this point in time, now that I still have the mic, I would like to call the Deputy Provost. We're going to make a and I will also want to invite Professor and Professor Mrs. MC Asuzu to please come. Prof, you will remove your face masks completely and your wife totally. Please. you've always had this beautiful, beautiful gem, you know, all these years. I'm especially grateful for your donation to child and adolescent psychiatry. You know, your daughter is one of my mentees, but we really appreciate you. And this is also as a role model to others coming. When people build people and build institutions, they must be recognized. They must stand out. So we love you, we appreciate you, and we're starting a new season. That's Igbora. We must work on it. Yes, God bless you. And I also have something. I sing with my family. So this is for you to listen to songs. Alafia means peace, and this is Love Never Fails. Your love for each other, and even for all of us, will never fail. God go with you, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our dear provost. Like she said, we still need Professor Asuzu's wisdom. We still need to hear from Professor Asuzu. Please put your hands together one more time for our provost. Thank you very much, Ma. We're going to continue the goodwill messages. I don't know if it's possible for us to listen to the pre-recorded videos now. Is that possible? If I do get a signal from there, then we'll go ahead. Until then, kindly welcome Professor Onojole Bayo for the goodwill message. Professor Onojole Bayo. His Graduate Medical College of Nigeria. Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you for the invitation. The chairman of the day, Professor Kalesa, let me stand on all existing protocols. Today, we in the Faculty of Public Health of the National Postgraduate College we are only celebrating the 70th birthday of Professor Asuzu because he's not retiring. He's only retiring from the University of Ibadan. So we are happy to receive him completely so that he can have more time for the Faculty of Public Health and the public health specialty in Nigeria and beyond. Professor Asuzu is many things to many people, depending on the perception. And the relationship you've had with him. He is a dogged fighter. When he believes in something, he doesn't mind the obstacle. He tries to get to it, and he always gets it. And like so many people have mentioned, he has groomed so many people that the issue of sustainability in the public health profession is of no doubt. Today, we are not only celebrating Professor Mr. Asuzu, we are also celebrating Professor Mrs. Asuzu. Because behind any successful man, there is or I would say beside, not behind. It's an old slogan to say behind. It's always beside a successful man, there is always a woman. I salute you, Professor Mrs. Asuzu, for the work you've done. Because it's looking like a 40-year-old man, not a 70-year-old man, like he said. And like I said, aging could be at different level. Chronologically, is 70, but biologically, is about 40. So it's just a young man that we are receiving into the faculty afresh to be able to perform the magic he has been performing all this year long. On behalf of the Faculty of Public Health and Community Medicine of the National Postgraduate College, we will believe that you're going to create more time for us. We're still going to celebrate you beyond this when we gather in our usual position. But because this is channel for the University of Ibadan, we said we also must be here. I want to invite Professor Bamidele, the Provost of the Ekiti State Medical College, Professor Okoje, my immediate past chairman, Professor Odusoya, and Professor Oshubade, for us to present this portrait. The faculty is presented to Professor and Mrs. Asuzu. No, let them. Oh, let me just bring it up. Just drag it up. It's very light. Let me go back. Yeah, you.
Distinguished Chairman, sir, other members on the high table, I've been mandated by my chairman, Professor Nojale, to present this beautiful portrait on behalf of the Faculty of Public Health and Community Medicine to our indefatigable former chairman, mentor, colleague, teacher, researcher, academic, public speaker, activist, motivator, pagan, Christian, and soon to be pensioner. Professor Asuzu, sir, will present this to you. And when I saw it, the first thing that came to my mind is, oh, this is Professor Asuzu when he's not too happy with what we are doing. It's like, what the heck are you people doing? Are you thinking through your, I would say. We appreciate you. We thank you for all that you have done for our specialty. And we are promising you that we will stand behind as you have led us. We will not disappoint you. Thank you, sir. We love you.
Before we go finish with this, on behalf of the faculty, we'll be taking 50 copies of the book for 100,000 naira to be distributed to all accredited public health centers in Nigeria. Thank you very much. We'll just take it. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Powerfully represented. We'd like to quickly go ahead with the goodwill messages. So permit me to invite Professor Eme Owoaje to speak on behalf of community medicine. Professor Eme Owoaje, please, is she here? Professor Owoaje, please. Professor Owoaje, would like you to please speak on behalf of community medicine. Professor Eme Owoaje, I will wait for you. You don't have to run, ma. I will wait. We will wait for you. Please put your hands together for her if you love her. A great woman. Thank you very much for all that you represent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Owaje. Thank you. After her, we'll take a goodwill message from Professor Titus Ibekwe, Professor Eme Owaje. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I'm not too good about protocol, so I'll stand on the existing protocol. Professor MC Asuzu. I don't know where to start from. I can't remember when I met him, but he's always been in my academic life. And thank you, Madam Provost, for what you just did. It fulfills the word of God that says, if you see a man that's diligent in what he does, he will stand before kings and not mere bed. For the College of Medicine and the University of Ibadan to say, please don't say goodbye. That means you have truly impacted lives. And that's basically what Prof is about. There are people that suck and take from other people. Prof gives. He gives, he gives, he gives. You know, we had an academic family, an intimate family session 2 days ago in the college boardroom. Thank you, college secretary. Thank you, provost, for allowing us to have that time. And it was just beautiful reminiscing. You know, his wife was telling us about how he would bring his different problems and different things that he was worrying about to the family prayer, praying for Dr. Akebi, praying for me, praying for other people to be promoted. And that was his constant mind that, oh, this person has to be promoted. This person has to be promoted. A lot of people become professors, and that's the end. They tell you, I have paid my dues. But I don't think Professor Asuzu will ever finish paying his dues because he's wired to leave a legacy and he's wired to die empty. That's why he will keep on telling us about community medicine, primary health care, public health, vertical public health, and he keeps on discipling. As has been said, if we want to talk about these various things, we'll continue to talk for hours. But it's been a pleasure working with you, Professor Asuzu, and it will be a great privilege and a pleasure to continue to work with you. In a way, you remind me of my father, Professor Charles F. Young. On Friday, when we were walking, it was just like walking with my father. I was so excited on Friday. I got dressed up. It's like I'm walking with Professor Asuzu, you know. And even at 70-something, my father was walking fast, which was exactly what you were doing. And my father left a legacy, which is what you have done. A man's life does not consist of what he owns. When we all pass away, we will not take away anything. But the legacy that you have left behind, that you have been creating over the years, is what you are leaving behind with your family, with your academic family. And the interesting thing is that your academic family is all over this country, West Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. God bless you, sir. God keep you. God cause his countenance to shine upon you and give you his peace. In Jesus' name.
Thank you very much, Ma. We're going to take one more goodwill message from Professor Titus Ibekwe, after which we'll play the video messages, and then we'll get a response from Professor Asuzu. Professor Titus Ibekwe. Need I mention, ladies and gentlemen, that the Department of Community Medicine, Bayero University, Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, has also launched 2 copies of the book with 100,000 naira. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Professor Titus Ibekwe, please.
Thank you very much. The chairman of this epic making event, Professor Oladele Kale, a man that Professor MC Asuzu will not make 4 sentences without mentioning his name. It's a pleasure to see you in flesh and blood today, sir. Thank you. The representative of the Vice Chancellor of our great institution, the premier institution in the country, the only institution that still maintained 1 out of 500 worldwide. That's the latest ranking. Please, a huge round of applause for UI. Yes, the representative of our Vice Chancellor, and also, at the same time, our great provost, the first female provost of this great institution. She is my boss and also the boss to my wife. So you can imagine such a coincidence. Professor Omigbodu, you're welcome, ma. And of course, Professor Odusoya. We have been working tirelessly together in National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. Is really somebody who have at heart the progress of our National Institute at heart. And at the other divide, of course, the great people seated over there and the man that the cap fits. I think he's the only person wearing cap, apart from my humble self, and of course, his mentor, Professor MC Asuzu and wife. Good afternoon, everybody. So the day is fast spent, but I am really very pleased to be here. And we know how difficult it is moving in the country now, but we felt that this is a program that we cannot do virtually, that we must be physically present here because of the role, the key role Professor Asuzu and wife has played into our life. So I'm here representing several generations of his children who are within and outside this country. First, we share a lot in common. Professor Asuzu happened to be the last in his family, and I am also the last in the family. And he was so bold to marry the Ada, who is the first from her own family, and I did the same. Both of us here in UCH, Professor Asuzu found his heartthrob here in UCH while he was a resident doctor. While I was here a resident, I found my own wife here who was a medical student. Eventually, we kept moving. I did ENT. And because of the love I have for Asuzu and his generation, I had to come in there to come and do masters in public health. And eventually, it didn't stop. Professor Asuzu and wife followed us all the way down to Enugu as our godparents during our wedding. So you can see why all the way from Abuja, I made it a key responsibility to make sure that I'm here alive today. Professor Asuzu is a selfless man. He deserves every encomium being showered on him here today. And as rightly put, he is not tired. He remains a source of inspiration, indeed, to each and every one of us and the generation next. Congratulations, Prof. Your children requested that I should make this presentation to you and to Auntie Choma. If you don't mind, sir, I will come to where you are and present this. I don't expect you to come to the stage. And permit me to read the content. They said, "Dear Daddy, Professor MC Asuzu, we describe you as best of the best. Your legacy across all spheres of life in the last 7 decades are exceptional. We are proud to be part of the family. Pep and Titus Ibekwe and family." Congratulations, sir. Despite
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I believe the pre-recorded videos are now ready, right? And will be played. The pre-recorded videos, please. The two pre-recorded videos, about 2 minutes each.
Professor Susan, I just want to wish you a happy birthday. Here in South Africa, we say halala, and also congratulations on your retirement. Finally, I hope now you'll go farming and you'll be able to write all your books. It is such a great honor to call you my mentor. You have been there with me since the beginning. We first met when I was a registrar in public health medicine. You have walked with me a very long journey as a registrar, finishing my PhD, and just being a constant mentor and a guide and a father. So today, I want you to enjoy yourself, break a leg and dance off. And you have taught, and I think I speak for many of us who have watched you as you have guided us each and every single step of the way. You've guided us not only in public health practice and just in kind of the philosophy of public health, but you've guided us to be better human beings. You've guided us to sprinkle kindness. You've guided us to say, listen, do not dim your light, shine as brightly as you can. And you've guided us to be the people that Africa needs. And so today, as you retire and as you celebrate your birthday, we really want to just say, on behalf of many young people across the world that you have mentored, I just wanted to say happy birthday. One of the things that I'll never forget that you taught me when I had just started off in my public health career, you said to me, Flavia, always remember the words of Obi Wathiongo, and when you go to communities, it's not about you. You need to call the communities by the name that they call themselves. And so since then, in fact, in that loaded statement, you were really teaching us how to be humble. You were really teaching us to recognize the voice of our people, and you really were teaching us how to recognize our own privilege and use it wisely. And so I really just want to say I can't wait to read your memoir, and I hope that you're still writing it. And just for everybody to share with you a small little lesson and a little secret that Prof gave me a Nigerian name. I consider myself very much part of the Nigerian community, and he called me Ngozi and explained to me what that meant. And so, Prof, from Ngozi and from everybody in South Africa and all your mentees around the world, we want to say congratulations and have loads of fun.
My name is Babalola Fasheru. I'm Associate Professor of Population Health at the University of Kansas Medical Center and Consultant Medical Epidemiologist at the Bureau of Health Promotion, Kansas Department of Health and Environment in the United States. Happy 70th birthday, Professor Mike Asuzu, and congratulations on your retirement after a distinguished career in clinical practice, research, education, and service to this great nation, Nigeria. Your contributions in the development of great talents who are making huge impact in the field of community medicine, public health, and population sciences globally is invaluable. I'm grateful to you for your impact on my professional career when I was a resident doctor in community medicine in UCH. One of your attributes I took with me was your passion for underserved populations. Once again, congratulations, and may you enjoy healthful, peaceful, prosperous, and long life in retirement.
I'm unmuted.
The provost.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. On behalf of my siblings, I greet and thank the chairman, the vice chancellor, the provost of the College of Medicine, chief medical director, deans, heads of department, the Department of Community Medicine, all my teachers, and all present for the opportunity to speak on the occasion of the retirement of my father, Professor Michael Asuzu. Gratitude is the emotion I feel strongest today. Gratitude to God for keeping my father alive to witness today. Gratitude for all the teachers and mentors that helped and supported my father along the way. Gratitude for the rewarding and enriching career my father has had. Gratitude for the lives my father has had the privilege of touching and influencing. Gratitude that my father knew his professional calling and carried out this mission with unwavering tenacity. Gratitude that God saw me worthy to bless me with my father. Along with my mother, my father was my first protector, teacher, playmate, and my first opponent in chess. From my earliest memories of my father till today, I have experienced my father as someone who is unrelenting in his ability to challenge me to be better, to do better. As long as there is life, my father cannot comprehend why anyone will waste time doing anything other than making the world a better place in any way that they can. As a result, he was not only a father to me, but a father and mentor to so many others. When I was trying to decipher what medical specialty to specialize in, my father recounted the story of how he became convinced that community medicine and public health were significant areas of need in Nigeria. And he has remained very passionate about this area of medicine, indefatigable despite multiple challenges, driven by his vision about how community medicine and public health can be practiced in Nigeria. It was through employing a similar process that I also became convinced of the need for psychiatry, and particularly child psychiatry. My father has always been bothered by the lack of thought, enjoys a good debate, and never passes up an opportunity for ice cream. Growing up, we'll have debates or conferences, like he prefers to call this. And I quickly learned to have all my arguments ready before any of these conferences. And while at times these were tiring, I now see that these were my father's ways of challenging us to think. Along with my mother, my father taught us to pray. One of his favorite ways of starting prayer is, "My Father and my God, I firmly believe that you're here, that you see me, that you hear me." And it's such a personal and special way to start communicating with God. And sometimes now I start my personal dialogue with God this way, and will smile at times that I've heard my father start prayer like this. "Daddy, we love you and bless God for your life. As you start your 8th decade and retirement, may the good Lord continue to guide you and direct your steps. Bless the rest of your days with peace, enjoyment, success, and a continued deep relationship with him. I think that beyond all the celebration and gifts of today, the best gift we can give you is to continue to rule our worlds. And so I pray and hope that God will continue to bless all your children, both biological and adopted, with the ability to rule our worlds, and in so doing, continue to please you. Amen. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been a blessing and a pleasure.
but he was our friend. Because when he came to Igbora as coordinator of studies, he would play chess with us, he would play Scrabble, yes, he would play table tennis before he starts his tutorial. So if you don't know why I play games also and do other things before I take tutorial, now you know where I came from. So my provost and all the other protocols, I thank all of you for coming to honor me. I thank Debbie and Co for this piece of good rascality. You know I like rascality of a good type. When I told them I was going to retire and I would like to give a valedictory lecture, Debbie said, "Oga, please don't talk that anymore." You gave faculty lecture of clinical sciences and dentistry. And when it became clinical sciences alone, you gave another faculty lecture. You gave your inaugural lecture. You gave the postgraduate school interdisciplinary lecture. You gave the University of Ibadan lectures. Why do you want to continue lecturing? Stop. We will talk this time around. So I thank you. I've learned to obey, you see. I was obeying before because I was the 10th of 10 children, but I think they think that I don't do much of that. As I leave, I give thanks to everybody who has taken part in this, and they have said it, and I will repeat it. To the college, please do a Barakwa program. I went with Popola, was it you or Idebi? We went to Songhai Farm. The mural on the second floor of the college building about the Barakwa, that's how to produce a Songhai Farm. All the departments in UI have been taken there, and the community have queried them, everybody. In this University of Ibadan lectures, I said, when we start running a Barakwa program the way it's used to run, any department in UI that doesn't come there, they don't exist. Adult education, political science, any department, the seminal work done in Bora is published by Professor, what's his name? It was an anthropological political science study of Igbora and its people and how health can operate in their midst. 1965, I can't remember that guy's name again. So I told the dean of the social sciences, who was also from political science, this book, we need to update it. Professor Luwande, when Olaide, as professor of agricultural economics, was vice chancellor, they were going to come to accredit faculty of technology. And they didn't have an engineer registered with Koren as dean. Koren said, we won't get accreditation unless faculty of technology is headed by an engineer. Olaide said, how are we going to do this? People told him, Oluwande is a professor of environmental health. He's a civil engineer registered with Koren. That's how Oluwande transferred from us to be the first engineer dean of the Faculty of Technology and head of Department of Civil Engineering. And I tell Professor Coker and all other people there, you owe your department and your accreditation to PSM, you know? So we can return to those things and run fast. So let me not waste my time. UI is an institution, college is part of it. UCH has become an institution by itself. So UCH can do community health also. During Ransom Kuti's time, they built one urban, one rural. Urban was Okuku. Rural was Shekweteri. We had problem with it. Kale remembers. I was senior registrar. We were going on Thursdays. I told the Odo local government to tell them how we are going to work with them to achieve community health. But what they are running here is primary medical care, family medicine. If they don't run community medicine, same with Shekweteri. Okay, so they can return to do that. Yemetu Aladon is already there. Unimed, I'm happy that it's Unimed Vice Chancellor that I came to give this talk. Unimed, I told them they can run whatever model they like. You know, I spent my last sabbatical, and 1 year accumulated leave there. Yes. They nearly hit the ground. The Oluoke of Okegbo, I showed his picture with his people. They selected their own community nurse midwife. They've contributed, I think it's 300 and something thousand naira to do their aerial GIS mapping of their community and the numbering of the updating of their PSC numbering. And we're waiting for COVID to be able to do their de jure census with community participation, census board, population commission. And to start, they've employed their community nurse, Mrs. Okelele, is waiting to have her at-risk register and do community rounds. So it's not in the sky. Tututu is also produced in their university. So if Ibadan waste time, University of Health Sciences in Ondo will hit the ground and demonstrate that people can be completely healthy. They don't need to come to hospital except on appointment to be checked, even chronically ill people. So I'll be looking at everybody. I have a house here, so I have a house at Okija as an Igbo man. When I retire, I intend to go there 1 weekend every month. But most of my life will be here, so I won't be dead immediately I retire. Now, all the people who have spoken, I hear that Professor Cecilia Eso was online until she has to leave for a meeting. Cecilia Eso did a project with us on, Cecilia Eso is a professor of developmental psychology and psychopathology in the University of Roehampton in Southwest England. We had a project with her. Adebi was the masquerade that was doing everything. They put a picture, one of the pictures here. We were lucky that when she came, Adebi brought change in the Barakwa program. Our students now do, when they finish, they do a town hall meeting to tell people what they did in the 6 weeks that they were here and show results and discuss the implication of the findings of their study for personal life, family life, community. Olashire's father is a chief in Erua. The day we had that in Erua town hall, he said, the chairman, local government, I thank you for being here from the beginning to the end. Another day, these medical students, these Eaglet doctors are making this kind of presentation. All schools, secondary schools, primary school must close at break time, and all of them will come here. When they see these Eaglet doctors like this, there will be no teenage pregnancy anymore. There will be no dropping out of school because they've been inspired. And we should take policy decisions about this. What the local government should do, what should do at their house, what should do. The day Cecilia Eso came, it was the students doing at the town hall presentation in Igbora. They had studied environmental health in the market. How the environmental officers went to build pit latrine in the market without market cooperation. And people went and put palm fronds, leaves, all kinds of things in the toilet. It was unusable. So they went there were reporting. And when they are making their town hall, they invite all the stakeholders concerning the researches they have done. The market women were there. So when they finished reporting, the environmental officer got up to say, hey, when we built it, they refused to use it. The yellow, they said, they're talking nonsense. When we see them walking like thieves in the market, we call them and say, what are you looking for? They say, we want to build a pit for you people to use so you can stop doing bit attack. I said, you're going to build it by yourself. Won't you consult us? They say, no, it's government something. When we finish, we'll show you. We said, if they are crazy. We told them, you should talk with us. There are places you build toilet, we won't use it. And when you build it, we should have ownership. We'll assign the person who will lock the place, hold it. If you want to use it, you will use it, and they make sure it's clean. If we want to collect money from them to maintain it, they refused. So when they finished, the people made them useless like themselves. Cecilia saw the part of it, took pictures of it, went home. University of Granting put it in their newsletter for several months. That's the kind of thing Ibarapa does. We used to get students all over. Some of the people online, when I came back from McMaster, they came here for elective, for undergraduate. Hagati came back for residency in Igbora and with Awojobi, and he went to Canada and wrote on. I mean, that's where we should be going about these programs. Anyway, so Flavia Senkubuge from South Africa. She's the president of the Colleges of Medicine of South Africa. And she was the first who came to watch us at the National Postgraduate Medical College, what we do and to take the lessons of it to go. So I learned that, of course, Dr. Fasheru was speaking. When Fasheru was a resident in our department, his wife was working in Scanet, and she helped us to learn how to use their Scanet. And they were close to us, both of them, before he went on a year abroad and went away from there. So this is the way I like to work. I save people's phones and their husband or their wives on the same phone. Wife is home, husband is work, or the first of them I know is mobile. So once I know who he's talking about. So I know them once you are married. I know Olumide was there. Olumide is my sister in the department. She's a don't touch me person, don't dirty me, And she has concerns for me. And when I refused to return home from sabbatical, I said I will finish my sabbatical. But they thought I should come back. He was the one who told Chioma to tell me to come back. Chioma asked me. I said, I'm not going to come back. Chioma went to tell Barrister Ajayobe. Barrister Ajayobe is our Adania. He's the first daughter of Okija here. The day I received email from Ajayobe, Mike, return now. I went to tell government of Fiji that I finished I returned. That's our culture. That's how we grow. The other person is that kind of person. And that's what Chioma has done to me. So I thank her also. She's adying me in the house. The last thing I want to say before I conclude, one of the reasons that primary health care will not work in Nigeria is because we have trained auxiliaries and we don't know how to do with auxiliaries. Do you know that Professor T. Ogunlesi, we are standing in his hall, was trained as medical assistant? Do you know that Professor J.O. Mabayoje was a medical assistant and he's responsible for the Medical Council of Nigeria and the brain behind finding the postgraduate medical school? Auxiliaries should not be left in the wilderness, in a blind alley. If you leave them there, CHOs, and they make good themselves, they find how to get power, intellectual, academic, and they fight you to a standstill. We should open the avenue for CHOs who want to become doctors to become one. I've challenged him that that's what faculty to help us do at University of Medical Sciences. And choose will continue fighting nurses until all of them are dead in the field. You must open space for nurses, for choose who want to become professional nurses and climb up professionally to do so. We have done it. We have a history of doing that. Other countries do so. I don't know why we create a blind alley for them. Finally, I've discussed with the college secretary. I've gone to UI on her directives and made all the investigations that single account will not hold up my money in the college. So I want to leave behind a prize in medicine, final year medical students, for the students who score in the Barakwa program. They have an exam when they finish the Barakwa program. And who score on an essay to distinguish the terms we use in public health and community medicine is the best. Because University of Ibadan was established, or University of London College in Ibadan in 1948, as the British colonial university for all of English West Africa, an international university at founding. While Ngu and all these other people trained through here, Ibadan should remain so in its student take, especially, but also in staff. So I asked my students, my friends from northern Nigeria only, nobody from the south, if they are interested in endowing this. So they've agreed. We will endow. I've collected the form. We have exceeded 500,000 and it will be endowed for the best student in that way. And the lesson is, Ibadan, please be open to all of Nigeria. Be open to all of West Africa. Be open to the world, not by word of mouth, but by practice. So, and the captain of them is here, Dr. Tefa Kene. He did MSc Epidemiology and Biostatistics here, and he did his MBBS in Zaria and was doing residency before I saw him. The other person is Sabitu. They're all online. Sabitu sought after me to supervise him as the third person I supervised, and Patusi then came. 1/3 of my supervisees didn't pass through Ibadan. They were doing their residency program in Zaria, in Enugu, in Ife, in Benin, all over. So even people, when I started teaching, I knew there was something called research leave. I went on research leave severally to Meduguri. I went to Jos, and I published. I have a research I want to do, and I researched it with the people there. I published it. One of my best students in both Jos and Meduguri is a person called Zubairu Eliasu. Eliasu is the chairman of the Ethics Research Committee of this country. He had 4 distinctions in the medical school. He had 5 prizes. And he never came here. He did his residency in Kano, but he's a captain in this setup. There are many more of them. So the lesson of it is Ibadan, please be open to the whole of this country. That's why these people who are not Southerners like us are endowing this prize. Their people should have access to have it also. I thank all of you who are here physically or virtually. My University of Ibadan lecture, the lecture, a tridium of lectures and weekly intervals that concludes the inaugural lectures. I brought a few of it here. All of you who are academic staff, who are here, who have honored me. The copies here for you. I've written autograph for people like Obeyo. If you didn't have it before, and Professor Kali also, and Odusanya. I don't know whether Odusanya has had it before. But all the officers, even those who only campaigned, I called them in my office, I gave them a copy of it. That people find difficulty to understand me is true. But I thank Adeni Kweku for being here. When he was Chairman Mark, he was the one who was interpreting what I said. So he listened on me. When he listened on me, because my memo, he said, Adeni Kweku, come, your friend has come. Oh, yeah, go and read this thing and tell me what Asuzu is saying. So I thank all of you, and I hold you to do all you said. I won't be dead. The scripture said the length of our years are 3 scores and 10. But if we are strong, 4 scores. And somebody said, and if you are stubborn like me, 4 scores and 10. And some of you know that there's part of Christian scripture, some people call apocrypha. Others call it deuterocanonical because of the way they came about. There's a book there, a book of wisdom called Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. The book of Ecclesiasticus says, happy is the husband of a very good wife. The length of his years shall be doubled. So you can work out how long I'll be here around.
Thank you very much. The man, Professor Michael Chiemeli Asuzu. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you. Always a pleasure listening to you. Always, always a pleasure. Permit me to hand the mic over to the Provost of College of Medicine.
Thank you very much. I think that's my favorite. Can we get the guest lecturer back to his place, please? And the head of Department of Community Medicine, come and stay near me here. Professor Fatusi. I saw him going outside. You know, when you are a vice chancellor, Professor Fatusi, no, she's here. Professor Fatusi, is he still around? I really like that happy is the husband of a good wife. It's so true. You know, some of the research work that have been done, this is actually from, I know Professor Bai always talks about it, geriatric health, that when a man has, in middle age, has a wife, that that men without wives at that age, the mortality is twice as high as men with wives. And then you can imagine men with a good wife, like one of yours. Prof, you are going to blow her a little kiss, so, eh? I really like that passage. We're waiting for Professor Fatusi. But I think it's such an instructive lesson for all the young men here. And what you just said. He's in the restroom. Well, we wanted to hand over some books on behalf of the Department of Community Medicine to Professor Fatusi. I have to leave now because I have another engagement. And okay, so maybe I will hand over that task to the head of Department of Community Medicine. Is he coming? Okay, is there anyone from his institution, Ondo State University of, oh, Professor Fatusi. Okay. Okay. So our distinguished guest lecturer, Professor Fatusi, Shegun Fatusi, is my very good friend. We've also had many fights, and there have been good fights, fights over very good things. I first met Professor Fatusi when I came back from the US. I think that was in the 90s. And then he was doing a lot of pioneer work in adolescent health. And I think he saw me once. I gave a talk in AF. You were in that meeting. Do you remember? You remember? Okay. And after that, because I think, in those days, psychiatry was very far away from anything public health. But I just come back from University of Leeds, not finished, and I had done a master's in public health. And it really opened my eyes to mental health. And it was an absolute delight working with you. You are brilliant, humble. Honestly, I'm not joking. These are true traits. Yes. And I'm not surprised that God continues to lift you up. You're also a man of God. I know that. And we've worked very, very closely in that time. And then you just cast me aside. Anyway, it's okay. Your sins are forgiven. And then, when I travel internationally, occasionally by the grace of God, first of all, I was told that if I want to see you, you remember that I should go and wait for you at Murtala Mohammed Airport. But if you want to see But unfortunately, but during the years you were provost, you had to cut that on. I now met somebody. I went for a meeting in New York, and it was on adolescent health. And this was a distinguished professor, and he was telling me, he said, Olusegun, we just disappeared. We don't see him. They were very, very, very upset. And I said, you are holding the position of provost. So you could not, you had to do whatever. One thing about you, whatever you're doing, you do it well. So I need to learn from you, even though you are my bro. That whatever you're doing, and then you were taken, as soon as you finished you were then taken to New York to continue to do work. And now you're vice chancellor. Your lecture was fantastic. Unfortunately, the audio was not too good. I actually joined the Zoom. There were a lot of people on Zoom, well over 100 people. And they were saying that they want your slides because it was so rich, historical, powerful. It was an excellent exposition. And I don't know, maybe you would PDF into a handout and provide it to the organizers. I want a copy too, because it's a real learning tool at this time. So on behalf of the entire organizing committee for this distinguished celebrations, and on the Department of Community Medicine, who love Professor and Professor Ms. Asuzu so much, we just want to present these books to you for your university, Ondo State Medical. Is it Ondo State University? University of Medical Sciences. We have to watch it too, because with you there, you may take that place to number one. We must not agree. College of Medicine, first and the best, because he has an anointing upon his life to transform. But God will continue to work together and be friends and partner. And all of us will lift up Nigeria for the glory of God and for the blessing of mankind. God bless you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, our dear Provost, Professor Migodun. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to announce that we actually had about 130 people online, and we had 115 people in this room. So altogether, we had 245 people attend this event. We'd like to take a word from Prof's mentor, Professor Kale, if you will.
Can I have your attention, please? It is fairly obvious from Professor Asuzu's brief comments that there are things that he still would wish he had done before he retires. And I think that's a good sign. I had hoped that most of what was said about him during the event that we've had today would include virtually everything. But there's something I kept to the reserve. If there's any physician here who is in public health, who is able to collect what to call duty, they owe it to Mike Asuzu. Mike was responsible for ensuring that the resident doctors in UCH collected their call duty like everybody else, even though at the time he had a very reluctant head of department as far as it's concerned. So all of us, one way or the other, owe him a debt of gratitude for that. That's not in the book I've written, or my contribution to the book that was launched earlier on. I wish to end by saying that this hall is in the name of Theophilus Oladipo Ogundesi, who is 97, and Mike Asuzu, who is still only 70, has a lot to do. As the provost has said, please don't leave. You may retire, but don't leave. I think most of your juniors will subscribe to that idea. I wish, therefore, on behalf of all who have had something to do with your presence in the Ibadan in 50 years, to say thank you very much for your contributions. and we look forward to further contributions. We know you cannot be bullied into something you don't believe in, but we also believe that your contributions to the medical school and your subordinates will live for long after your memory as a lecturer and professor has ended. Thank you very much, Mike. God bless.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much. Prof, we just wanted to let you know that we had special greetings online from the Faculty of Public Health, WACP, the national chairman sends his greeting. Also, the head of department of the Community Medicine, University of Calabar, sends their greeting on behalf of the department. SAG and the entire member of the Nigeria COVID-19 Research Consortium, of course, courtesy Dr. Chinwe Ochu, also sends their regard. The Department of Community Medicine, University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, and the APHPM Cross River, on behalf of Dr. Ungpanam, send that on behalf of them. They also send their regards. The HOD and the Department of ERUAS, and the HOD and Department of Community Medicine, ERUAS Specialist Hospital, I didn't capture that properly. They also send their regards. Please, if you still want to launch the book, please, you can just beckon on any of the ushers. They'll come to you, show you the bank details, and you can do the transfer. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. It's been a very, very great event. God bless you all and have a very, very pleasant day. You can take pictures with the Asuzu family if you want, if you will. You can walk up to them, say hi, take pictures. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.